Ja.
The wood spider is the most accomplished of all web-building species. Recently, scientists gave these tiny creatures a variety of psychoactive drugs to observe their effects on web building. When given a minute dose of LSD, the spider's web took on an unfamiliar, minimalist structure. When given caffeine, the web structure was not affected, but the spider's behavior was. Given THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, the spider didn't build a web. It built a hammock, where it lay all day and watched the caffeine spider go. When given alcohol, the spider built a web, found a mate, and raised over 100 young. But the mate got a restraining order, and now the spider can't go within 100 centimeters of the web. The crack cocaine spider figured building webs was for suckers, waited till the caffeine spider was exhausted, then came up behind it and popped a cap in its ass. Nice web, Mr. Crack Spider. When winter came, the marijuana spider had no place to live. It ended up in the crack web as the crack spider's bitch. For more information on the crack spider's bitch, contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa.
The open plains of the asphalt jungle. Home to many creatures great and small, and the popping ground for one of the most clever and illustrious creatures, the plastic bag. Today we explore the cycle of life for this curious creature, the plastic bag, on its migration to its home, the Pacific Ocean. Once released into the wild, the plastic bag is unsure of itself. It falters at first. But soon, with some help from the wind, the bag will be airborne. This flight will be the first in its long journey towards its final destination, the garbage patch in the heart of the Pacific Ocean. Using the wind to guide it, the plastic bag moves across the city through the air. A city park. This park may at first seem an idyllic place for the plastic bag, but danger lurks round every corner. Here it will encounter many enemies, including one of the most dangerous, park services. Poor little fellow. Looks like his journey ends here. Meanwhile, our little bag has encountered one of nature's most deadly killers, the teacup Yorkie. Once the Yorkie has locked onto its victim, there's very little hope of survival. But using its superior size and deft maneuvering, our bag manages to escape the Yorkie's talons and flee for its life. Over the course of its miraculous migration, the plastic bag will cover vast distances through neighborhoods, across parks, and down city streets. It is now nightfall, and our highly advanced night vision cameras have managed to capture for the first time in history a plastic bag in pitch black. Phenomenal. The vast cement rivers of California, home to literally dozens of animals. Many plastic bags will not make it out of here. The reeds and branches will see to that. As at home in water as it is on land or in the air, the bag's natural buoyancy makes it an excellent swimmer. It's close now, and it can feel it. At last, the bag has reached the gateway to the open sea. Careful to avoid the mouths of hungry sea life that feed on the helpless plastic, the bag will travel hundreds of miles to join the thriving community of plastic known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The Garbage Patch is a veritable plastic oasis where millions of tons of plastic garbage remain trapped by the currents. It is said to be twice the size of Texas. Never actually biodegrading, here the plastic bag can live indefinitely, peacefully coexisting with billions of other petroleum species before breaking into ever tinier plastic pieces, thus completing the plastic cycle of life.
History is full of stories of demons and other unworldly creatures coming into our world and wreaking havoc on society. But what does science have to say about zombies? Are these ferocious freaks plausible or scientifically accurate in any way? Should we be preparing for a zombie apocalypse? Well, it depends on what type of zombie we're talking about. Dying and coming back from the dead? Not so likely. But a virus that induces zombie-like qualities of rage and the incessant need to eat human flesh? Hypothetically, yes. The main factor involved is finding a virus specific to the brain areas for these symptoms while leaving other areas intact. Viruses can enter the body and affect cells in many ways, but we're going to focus on the neurons. Neurons are some of the longest cells and can transport molecules and proteins across the entire body. Many viruses, such as rabies, take advantage of something called retrograde axonal transport to travel from their entry point to where they want to be. In the case of rabies, the virus can enter anywhere and slowly make its way to your brain or central nervous system. The farther it starts physically from your brain, the longer it will take to get there, sometimes years. But once it's there, it's generally too late. Many viruses follow a similar system, with the only difference being which neurons they're specific to. This zombie virus would have to use specific neurons to affect particular parts of the brain to induce a zombie state without damaging the entire brain. Sound unlikely? Well, it just so happens that the olfactory nerve, which is in your nose and used for scent, leads directly to some areas of the brain that could cause zombified effects and would leave other areas of the brain intact. Specifically, it leads to the ventromedial hypothalamus, which tells you you're full, the amygdala, which controls emotion and memory, and the frontal cortex, responsible for problem solving, morality, and inhibiting impulsive action. Essentially, transmission of a virus through the olfactory nerve could create super hungry, aggressive, brain-dead beings that can't recognize family and friends or control their own actions other than to feed. Sounds kind of like a zombie. So while the picture of a rotting or invincible zombie may be less than likely, with the right virus nerve specificity, a form of zombies could be possible. Will you be ready? Got a burning question you want answered? Ask it in the comments or on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe for more weekly science videos.